All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are watching from. My name is the Martins Maris, and in this space, I teach you how to avoid Ponzi schemes, fake investment platforms, fake crypto projects, and how not to lose your money online. All right. Today I'm going to do a detailed review on Bitnest liquidity so that we'll actually know if there is still hope in Bitnest or not, if they are still trustless, and if they are really immutable, decentralized project like they claimed. Now, when the first time I did my Bitnest review, this was what I wore. All right, that was my first time of doing a detailed review of a decentralized smart contract project. So if you have been watching my video, if you check my previous videos, you will discover that Bitness was actually the first smart contract I reviewed through the contract address. All right, all other projects I didn't actually go deep into that because at that point I was still in the process of learning. Like I always say, learning does not end. We continue learning every day, and sometimes what makes us to even learn more is when we make mistakes. All right, so that is why we need to do what we need to continue learning, learn how to do more research about projects and the rest of that. All right, so in this video I am going to correct some of the mistakes I made in that my previous review, because there were some hidden things that we did not discover in the process of that research. It was really hidden in a way that you really need to go very deep into research. Like maybe something has to prepare you to go more deeper into research for you to discover these things that I am going to talk about today about business. Remember, I told you that from what I saw, the liquidity of Bitnest goes to pancakeswap, and there were proofs. It was not just a mere talk. It was not just that the liquidity were not going to pancake. The liquidity were actually going to pancakeswap. For those of you that have deposited in Bitnest and have explored Bitnest on chain, you will see that the liquidity actually go to the pancakeswap pool, and during at the end of the circulation, the liquidity also returns from the pancakeswap pool. The money that you invest in business also return from there. So that is what we all believe. That is what, and it was it was there in the blockchain. It's not as if we just come up to make up these statements. It's not as if we just come. They were all there on blockchain, which you will still see that the money is actually from your wallet. When you make a deposit, it goes directly into Bitnest contract address, and from Bitnest contract address it goes to pancakeswap and then return to your wallet. That is what we all knew, and that is what we all saw on chain, and that is what we have been saying, because that is what we saw. Even if you check on akam.intel, you still see the same thing, that your money goes to pancakeswap and returns to your wallet. That is what we've always believed in, and that made us to always to think that the money that is on the pancakeswap that displayed on business liquidity is actually the money that the whole investors of business have invested in business. So sometimes it gives us the hope that, oh, there is money in business. Sometimes we will be happy that, oh, the liquidity is increasing, and all that. And then sometimes when it is reducing, some people begin to panic, oh, the liquidity is reducing and all that, because we all thought that the money we are seeing there is actually the money that belongs to Bitnest. But can I shock you? At the end of this video, you will discover that that money may not actually belong to Bitnest. We've discovered some things. That money is not actually that of Bitnest. That money actually belong to many people, different platforms. And that is what we are going to do in this video. So let's go straight to the analysis. Like I said, I'm here to correct the mistakes I made in my previous research. It's not as if we know the truth and we didn't say it. What we saw was what we explained. What I saw was what I explained, without knowing that there are other sides of DeFi. without knowing that there are other sides of DeFi. And this is what some projects are using to deceive people now. They tell you that the money is on pancakeswap without knowing that there are some other sides, some other controls, some other ways, that there are manipulations that you do not know. I'm going to point everything out to you so that next time when somebody tell you that our money is on pancakeswap, you will do more research to actually know where the money is. So let's go straight to it. All right. So as you can see, I am on the home page of Bitnest, and you can see that in the liquidity we have 39,468,382. All right. So from when we joined Bitnest, we were meant to believe that this figure that always appear here belong to Bitnest. That is what we were meant to believe. And it's not just that we were meant to believe that, there were evidences. All right, there were evidences that made us believe that this could be true. And that is why even when I did my review, I stated the same thing, that this figure belonged to Bitnest because there were evidences. But over the time, we've discovered that when there were manipulations, when people stopped receiving their circulation returns, and when people stopped receiving their capital at the end of circulation, we started doing deeper research to actually know why. Okay, how can Bitnest have this huge capital and they're still delaying payment, they're still delaying payment? People are not receiving the ROI. Instead, they are telling people to invest more money into their Loop C and buy their coin so that they will be prioritized in order to receive earnings. So I was wondering, okay, looking at the fact that this money is from pancakeswap, does it mean that Bitnest now have control of pancakeswap liquidity? Because we were meant to believe by Bitnest that when you invest in Bitnest, your money goes to pancakeswap, which makes pancakeswap to be in full custody of your money, in full control of your money, which simply implies that Bitnest does not even have the power to do what? To have access to the money on pancakeswap. And if you go to pancakeswap, you see that this money is locked on pancakeswap. So it means that Bitnest does not even have the power to have access to that money on pancakeswap until your circulation is over and it returns to your wallet. So according to them, pancakeswap is the only one that have the power to return your money at the end of each circulation. And we all know that pancakeswap is a decentralized exchange that does not have human manipulation or control. So how come Bitnest was able to pause payouts, was able to delay circulation returns, and people are not receiving their returns at the end of the circulation? So in my quest to understand why this is happening, I had to do more research. I started seeing myself as someone that his research is no longer too strong. All right, I started seeing myself that my research is no longer too strong. It is no longer perfect. If I could do a research that these people does not have access to your liquidity, and at a stage they started having control over your returns, because we were even meant to believe that even if this website crashes, so long as you are connected to pancakeswap liquidity pool, at the end of your circulation you still receive your money. So, but at a stage we've discovered that they can pause withdrawal, they can stop you from receiving your money. Does it mean that they now control pancakeswap? So we are going to dig out the cause of this, why we didn't receive our circulation at the end of the, why Bitnest was able to stop you from receiving circulation, and if this money actually belonged to Bitnest, we are still going to find out today. All right, so let's go straight to it. So first and foremost, I'm going to still give you a proof that yes, this money actually goes to pancakeswap, but the question is, did it remain in pancakeswap pool? Did this money remain there when it enters there? Did it remain there? So first and foremost, if you click on this figure, this liquidity, it will open a page like this, and you can see that this page is where that money is. You can see that money over $30 million here, and you can see that this is an address, a contract address ending in 3121, which is a pancakeswap address. All right, this is a pancakeswap address. Now, another thing we are also going to check is the contract address that is interacting with this this particular pancakeswap liquidity. So if you go to Bitnest, let's scroll down. If you scroll down, if you go to more, all right, if you go to more, you will see Bitloop smart contract ending in 526E, which is a Bitnest contract address. So when you invest in Bitnest, this is where your money goes first. Do we have a proof that this is where our money goes, that our money actually go to this wallet ending in 526E? Yes, there is a proof that this is where our money go, and I'm going to prove it to you now. I'm going to log into my wallet, because like I said, we are not making up things, we speak what we see. So sometimes when you say that we didn't do strong research, it's not true. We did research and we speak what we saw. So I'm going to show you that our money actually goes to this wallet, and I'm still going to show you that money actually moved from this wallet to that pancakeswap that I'm talking about. But what we didn't know is the next thing that happens after our money moved to that place, and that is what we are going to find out now. So let me show you that our money actually moves here. So you can see that I'm on my token pocket, and these are the transactions that I have sent out. All right, so you can see one of my circulation. You can see a circulation of $1,000. All right, so if I click on this circulation, you will see that this money moved from my wallet, $1,000 moved from my wallet to the Bitnest contract address that ends in 526E. All right, 526E. All right, and if we click on the transaction hash, it will still show the same thing. So for instance, if I copy this transaction hash, okay, let me just click on the transaction hash. Okay, you can see that this is the transaction hash, and as you can see that this money actually moved from my wallet. Okay, so you can see that this is the contract address, the same Bitloop contract address ending in 526E. If you go to Bitnest, you see it 526E, which is also this 526E. All right, you can see it bold. Let me bold it so that, let me make it bold so that you see it. You can see it here. This is exactly the Bitloop contract address. Now, if you go to token transfer BEP20, if you go to token transfer BEP20, you can see that there are interaction. The one you should concentrate is the loop, all right, which is the one we do. You are looping, you are adding money to the liquidity. So when you add money to the liquidity, what happens? The money enters this contract address. You can see, for instance, this one happened 12 days ago. All right, this one happened 12 days ago, and the person did $15. You can see that the money moved. All right, the money actually moved to this address ending in 526E. We can see it. You can see what happened there. It moved to this address, and it moved from the Bitloop contract address to this pancakeswap address ending in 3121. So when they tell you that the money actually goes to pancakeswap, is not a lie, but something actually happens after this, and that is what we are going to find out. Like I said, we are going to dig out where our money is, and that is what we are doing in this video. Thank you. So, and we are going to find out if the money we are seeing on that home page is actually Bitnest money. So, having seen that our money is actually going to that pool, let us search that pool. You can see this is pancakeswap inter.arkham.com. So let's go to inter.arkham, and if you paste the address, you can see it is confirmed that this is pancakeswap v3 pool. All right, this is pancakeswap version 3 liquidity pool. Okay, so now if you search for that contract, you can see that same figure, that same amount here on this pool, 30,860,771. all right, so you can see that yes, this is actually the pool, but there is one thing we didn't take a look at. One of the things we didn't take a look at is that in this pool there is USDT of 24.54 million. There is USDC of 6.32 million. And there is LGNS. What is LGNS? LGNS is another smart another DeFi contract, another project entirely that has nothing to do with Bitnest. They still have the liquidity here, and they have about $42.52 of worth of LGNS in this particular this thing. So if this is only Bitnest, what is LGNS doing here? There is BTCB here, there is Wrapped BNB here, there is PLT here, there is MTV here, there is Million Coin here. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing that there are a lot of portfolios under this particular contract address? What does it tell you? It actually is telling you that this contract address is a general contract address. It's not actually a Bitnest specific contract address. So even though we are meant to believe that this was a Bitnest contract address, you can see a lot of other things here: Hawk, CHMB, Squid, Andy, and a lot of them. All right, so you can see a lot of them here. So that is it. So under this project, you can see a lot of portfolios that has nothing to do with Bitnest. So that means that this money you are seeing here is not just Bitnest money. It is a money that goes round. And how do I prove that this is not Bitnest money? Let me prove to you that this is not Bitnest money. Number one, from what I showed you initially, let me show you what happened here right now. Okay, let me show you what happened here right now. In this transaction of 526E, there is an indication here. You can see a loop. Of $15. So the money entered Bitloop contract address and moved to pancakeswap. But we didn't check what happened on the next line. Now take a look at what happened again. All right, take a look at what happened again. Okay. Now let's click on view all between transactions to see the whole picture. Okay, so you can see what happened here. If you click on the transaction, all right, so let us actually view this transaction. You can see that the first transaction is a transfer. All right, is a transfer. So let us view this transaction to actually identify what occurred here. All right, so you can see that this money moved from this person's wallet to the contract address ending in 526E. All right, and then let us check the next thing that happened. You can see that there is a second transaction here. So let us check it. So the second transaction also moved from the Bitnest contract address to the pancakeswap 3121 contract address. All right, so and that is where we always get confused. Whenever we see that it moves to this contract address, we always get confused. Now there are something you need to understand. The first thing that occurred was that money was transferred to Bitnest contract address. That is where decisions are made. All right, Bitnest can decide not to move that money to pancakeswap or not, because that is where decisions are made. Okay, so even if the money moves to the pancakeswap pool, does it mean that that money is domiciled on that pancakeswap pool? So what actually happened here? All right, like I said, this is a plain transfer. All right, this money, can we say that it is resting on pancakeswap pool, or it is resting somewhere? Okay, let us look at what happened here. Immediately that money entered this wallet, there was a caller. there was a caller, all right, which called the loop, and that loop was called from the address ending in 928. All right, the loop was called from the address ending in 928, and automatically that loop was called. The USDT moved from this contract address to the pancakeswap router. Now, I'm going to explain what router is. All right, router does not keep money. Your money is not stored. Like when you make a dip with this type of transfer that follows through the router, does not sit on the router. It is actually sitting on a different hidden wallet, which we'll figure out. That is where everyone got confused. So the router does not keep USDT, all right, so it always move it. So let me make this very clear again, because this is where a lot of people get it wrong, and this is where we have been getting it wrong until we started doing more research. Okay, um this address ending in 3121 that we believe to be the Bitnest liquidity pool is a general address that a lot of uh, uh, projects are using. All right, they are using it to route their payment. They're using it to actually, it is just like you have a bank account in a bank, and then you want to use an ATM of that bank account. For instance, you can use an ATM of OPay to withdraw money from UBA, to, Zenith Bank, and a lot of other banks. All right, that is just what is happening. So you can decide not to, when you withdraw money from UBA, you will get a notification that you made a withdrawal from UBA, even if your money is domiciled in OPay. That is exactly what this thing is all about. So they can use this to route payments in a way that they can move money, they can pay you through this general contract address. All right, and they can also collect money from this general pancake swap address to another address, and that is actually what is happening in the case of Bitnest. All right, so this address cannot uh, um, uh, custody liquidity, and it cannot store balances. So the USDT, this particular money that this person circulated here, that you think that is resting here, is not resting here. All right, because this contract address is just a payment processor. Okay, is a payment processor. It is not a bank or the liquidity pool of Bitness. Okay, so funds only pass through it inside the same transaction. Okay, so where does the money actually end up? All right, where does this money actually end up? Now, this money is going straight to somebody called position manager. Initially we stated that this contract is renounced and decentralized, and that is what we saw, without knowing that there is a hidden function here, which I'm going to show you. So let me quickly show you. So it is actually the position manager that decides how the money moves, whether the money will move to a central wallet or to a hidden wallet, or it should move to another wallet, because the position manager have the power to change the transaction ID. Are you getting it? So that is it. So you can see the role here. Okay, you may be asking, but we said that the ownership is renounced. That is what we all thought. The ownership is renounced and there is no critical administrative function. Even if you go to scans today, if you go to day.fi or Solidity Scan and all these scanners to check this, they will still tell you the same thing, that the ownership is renounced. But there is a hard-coded position manager. You can see the an address here. Okay, you can see an address here. All right, you can see an address here. You can see position manager, public constant position manager equals I position manager. You can see they had coded address here, which is not which those scanners cannot identify. All right, you can only identify this if you begin to read these codes. Are you getting it? So that is it. And you can see the role, you can see what this position manager can do. Okay, you can see what this position manager can do. The position manager have what we call access control, which is role based. All right, which is role based. Are you getting it? So the position manager can give a kind of a constant, can change the operator role. The position manager have what we call can grant or revoke uh, any rule. The position manager have the right to do that. You can see it here, that it can revoke or grant any role. Okay, the position manager have the role to restrict functions like loop. All right, the position manager can decide to loop, all right, or approve payment. Are you getting it? You know that when you add money there, the contract call is increased liquidity. There is increased liquidity, there is decreased liquidity, and there is collect. So the first thing that the position manager have the power to collect the liquidity. After the liquidity have moved from your wallet and automatically move to that pancakeswap pool, it returns back to the position manager, who decides what to do with it. So the position manager have the power to do that. Okay, so renouncing the ownership now does not mean that the access control that is coded here does not exist. Okay, so now the question is, now how the admin is still able to pause, reroute, or manipulate funds. All right, so look at this snippet here. Okay, look at this snippet here. Look at this snippet here that says function loop external only role operator role unit 256 USDT amount IRC20 USDT dot balance of address. Okay, this requires USDT amount and increased liquidity. Okay, so only someone with operator role can call this function. Increased liquidity calls the position manager with all USDT in the contract. So the only position manager can call this contract. So there is no automatic distribution to investors. The return depends entirely on who calls and when when that contract is called. Are you getting it? So that is it. So there is this role here that some of us did not actually pay attention to until this issue arose. So the position manager have the power to actually call the contract or not. All right, that is why they were able to do what, to stop payment as a result of the power that this position manager have. So then why does scanners like day.fi or Solidity Scan didn't display all these things? The thing is that some of these scanners can be misleading. Okay, what they majorly check is the ownable owner or a few standard admin functions. They do not fully pass access control. All right, so the contract may appear renounced, but rules are still active. Admin still control funds, and this is a very common trick. Using access control instead of ownable makes scanners think ownership is renounced while the admin keeps full privileges. So the point is that this thing is a very strict something that is hidden in a way that you may not even know until you begin to go deeper. And that is why we are going deeper now, because we didn't actually go deeper when these things because we've checked all these things, they were looking very perfect, but we didn't actually go deeper. All right, so what is the implication of all these things to us, to all the investors here? Okay, so even though the implication is that even though the contract claims that the ownership is renounced, shows no admin functions, the reality is that the admin via default admin role and operator role can call loop anytime. So they can move funds into the position manager, stop or delay distributions, change token IDs or parameters affecting liquidity, decide who gets paid because payout logic is external or manual. In short, the contract is centralized in control despite appearing decentralized on scanners. Simple way to explain it to a layman's understanding is that if the contract says ownership is renounced, it uses access control rules. Admin with default admin role or operator role still control critical functions like moving USDT to liquidity or triggering the loop. This is why withdrawals can be paused and payouts rerouted. Ownership renouncement does not remove operational control here. So there is an operational control here. All right. So that is it. So so if you are still thinking, okay, because if you check your wallet, you see that you are receiving payment from the contract address ending in 3121, which is the general pool. All right, general pool, which I have already told you that it is not actually the one holding your money. Your money is actually with the position manager. All right, the money is rerouted with the position manager. I have explained how this thing works. All right, so I have explained how this thing works. So the loop function or other admin controls this logic. All right, they control this logic. So the function loop and the external controls are done by the position manager. All right, so the position manager will decide to actually reroute those transactions from pancakeswap pool to different wallets at the end of each circulations. This thing may have been coded there, but they still have control to either stop it from functioning or not. It is not actually that they will have to begin to do it manually, but they can decide to actually stop that function. And once they stop the function of the money coming into the liquidity may be active, while the function of the money moving from that their own liquidity, their own control, to pancakeswap and then to your own wallet at the end of the circulation may be paused. And that's why they are able to pause that particular function in order to decide who they pay, who to earn and who not to earn. All right, so talking about this particular transaction, okay, talking about this, let me go back to it. All right, so talking about this particular transaction, the question now is where this money actually ended. All right, because we see that it has moved from here to here, but we didn't see where after it moved to here. We didn't see the next place it moved to. After it moved from the Bitloop contract address to the pancakeswap general pool, we didn't see where the money actually entered. So where did the money actually entered? All right, okay, so we are going to figure that out right. Okay, so where the money actually moved, after this money moved here, the money actually, with the power of the high position manager, all right, which the address is there. I have already shown you where the address is hard coded. The money actually moved through the pancakeswap router, then deposited into a pancakeswap v3 liquidity position. Now that position is represented by an NFT. That is where your money is. This money is going to an NFT that is owned and controlled by the Bitnest contract logic. The NFT is owned and controlled by the Bitnest contract logic, and we are going to identify that contract logic, that address that has such contract logic, because that is where the money is. So the money always move immediately. Once the money enters this address ending in 3121, it moves straight to the NFT that is owned and controlled by Bitnest contract logic. So the money is resting inside a pancakeswap V3 liquidity position NFT, all right, managed by position manager, not in your wallet, not in the router. Remember that the router is that place that the balance always shows on Bitness. That is the router. That place, that position, that is the router. So the money is not actually in that router. All right. The money is not even in a visible contract balance. All right, that is not where the money is. So now the question is, why is it that you don't easily see the money? Why is it that you don't easily see where the money is sitting? Because after the money have moved there, you don't easily see where the money is sitting. Okay, the thing is that money is locked inside thick ranges, price bands, and an NFT position. The money is locked inside there. So that is why you are not seeing it. That is why even if you go to the Bitloop contract address after you've made your deposit. So for instance, let's look for the Bitloop contract address that is ending in 526E. That is why you can see that the Bitloop contract address just having the total position, the multi info here, the multi chain portfolio here is just 253 USDT. All right, and then the tokens here is $60.78. So you can see that that is why when you go there you will not see anything. It looks empty. There's no money there because your money is not actually resting here. Your money is resting in an NFT position that is being handled by the position manager. All right, so that is it. This is the actual behavior. This is not a mystery. This is the actual behavior. So the question now is, who controls the liquidity? That is the most important part. Who controls the liquidity? The control depends on who can call the loop, who controls the operator rule, who can change token ID. And from the contract that we've seen here, we also saw the operator rule. You can see we also saw the operator rule here. You can see operator rule here. All right, so whoever controls the operator rule controls when the money moves. All right, and whether it compounds or it stops is controlled by this person. All right, so the ownership that is renowned does not remove this rule based control. So that is it. All right, so now the question is, where exactly is the money? Because we are looking for where that money is sitting, the actual address that is holding the money. Is it that NFT position we are talking about? Where is it? That is what we are going to treat in our next video. All right, now we've arrived at the fact that this money is not actually sitting on the pancakeswap pool that we saw, and we have also arrived at the fact that the money that is on the pancakeswap that we saw are different money from different platforms, not just Bitness only. So the next thing is that exact place. So how do we trace it? The first thing we are going to do is that we are going to trace it from the position manager address. You can see the position manager address because this is the person that have the power to reroute funds, to decide where the money goes, and all that. So we are going to trace where the money is from the position manager. So in the next video, we'll be talking about that. All right. So we've already taken steps and we've already identified the wallets, all right, that are holding those. So stay tuned for the next video to actually know where the money is. Thank you.